Hey guys, I decided to do this video in my car before I head out to the store. 144 miles left in the tank. Just thought I'd share that. I want to share this dream that I had 2 mornings ago, I think it was. Very disturbing. In the dream, I saw a little girl, and I knew she was being given some sort of medicine by there was like a certain group of adults around her circle, and they were giving her some sort of medicine. I didn't know what kind of medicine it was, like if it was pill form or liquid form or like a shot or even a vaccine. I don't know. The dream didn't tell me that. And I also didn't know like what this medicine was supposed to be like treating her for or preventing against. But I knew that the medicine that these adults were giving this child was evil. It was not good. And so the little girl was like behind this door. I kind of seemed to be in like a downtown area or something, and she was like behind a door, up some steps, behind another door. And it was like she was in this room with some of these adults that were like, it kind of felt like they were keeping her under surveillance or monitoring her somehow. It was like they really wanted to keep her close. And at some point she came out of that room and she started to come down the steps. I was at the bottom of the steps. And when she started to walk towards me, she looked at me and I was absolutely terrified because her eyes were like bright yellow, evil looking cat eyes or something. It was like they had a slit down the middle. They were bright yellow. It was very terrifying. And what it reminds me of almost exactly is if you have seen the music video for Thriller, where he is in the process of being possessed and he looks up and his eyes are yellow. That's what it reminded me of. Okay, so she was walking towards me and she looked at me with those eyes and I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, what are they giving you? And I kept asking her, what is this medicine that they're giving to her? She didn't say what the medicine was. Okay, so even though her eyes looked like crazy demonic like that, I don't want to say she was like an outright demon child, satanic acting. She wasn't acting evil. She seemed to pretty much be herself, except I could kind of tell that she was on something. I could tell that, you know how sometimes when you see people who are like on narcotic painkillers or antidepressants or something, it's not like they're super over the top, but you can tell that they are being affected by something. It was kind of like that. So I could tell that she was a little bit on edge, a little bit maybe like nervous or something. So she was pretty much herself, acting normal, but I could tell that something was off. And I want to say that her mental state was very similar to the one that I shared. I shared a dream a couple weeks back, maybe like 3 weeks ago, where in the dream I had called 911 and the police took 1 hour to get to my house. And when I saw them pulling into my driveway, which is right here, the police car was like exploding in fireworks, and there was something really off about the behavior and the mental state of the cops. It was like they were high, but not really. And that's kind of how this little girl was. It was almost like she was high, but it's hard to describe. I can't pinpoint what it is, but it was like some sort of neurological change, a little bit of like a heightened mental state of sorts. I can't really describe it because I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. But these cops in this other dream, they were like super, like hypersensitive, hyper aware, just acting very, very strange. But they weren't evil. But I feel like I should say this. So it was kind of almost like these cops were demon possessed. It was almost kind of like this little girl was possessed because of her eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. Just because the little girl and the cops weren't outright like doing satanic rituals or like slaughtering people or doing anything outright evil doesn't mean that they weren't demon possessed. Demon possession isn't always going to look like it does in the movies, where like people's heads are spinning around backwards, or they're like doing all this creepy stuff like they do in the movies, where like sometimes people will like crawl down steps backwards and all that kind of evil stuff. It's not always going to look like that in real life. It could, but sometimes I think even people around us are demon possessed, but you can't quite tell. It might manifest in different ways. Maybe there's someone who's like extra angry or jealous, or just like, I don't know. But I just thought I would make that point that this girl and these cops in the other dream could very well have been demon possessed, but they weren't like, excuse me, my allergies are like really bothering me. Anyway, I just wanted to bring up those cops because there was something about the mental state. There was like a neurological thing going on where I could tell they were being affected by something strange, something I wasn't familiar with. So anyway, I could tell she was agitated. So like I said, she was coming down the stairs, and I said, just sit down on the stairs and tell me, what is this medicine they are giving you? She didn't say what the medicine was, but her reply was, I love my medicine. I love my medicine. I need my medicine. I love this stuff. I have to have it. I need to be on it. So I want to say it was probably like she developed an addiction to whatever she was being given. There's a beat in here. Okay. So yeah, she was like, I love my medicine. I need to have it. Like she was addicted. And at the end of the dream, it was very strange because I remember I was like sitting in my car, kind of like how I am now, and I had a notebook, and I like looked up in the sky, and I could see this. I knew in the dream it was a medical term. There was a word coming down towards me from the sky, and I knew that the medical term it was like swirling and floating down towards me. I knew in the dream that the term was referring to a certain condition or syndrome, something that this child had developed as a result of the medication, pill, shot, vaccine, whatever it was. I'm not saying it was a vaccine. The dream just said medicine, medication. This syndrome or condition she had developed because of this medication. I can't remember what the word was. I don't think I'm supposed to remember what the word was at this time. So anyway, I could see this term floating down towards me in like 3 parts. I remember seeing like the prefix of the word first. So I want to say this word was about 10, 12, maybe 15 letters long. I want to say somewhere within this word, I think I remember like the letters P, N, and S. Don't quote me on that. Just for some reason, if I had to guess, I feel like I remember seeing those letters somewhere in there. And yeah, it was a pretty long word. I could see the first few letters of the word first. It was like it was swirling, coming down at me in pieces, in 3 chunks. I would see the beginning of the word, and it would just slowly start swirling down towards me. And then I could see the middle part of the word coming down, and then I saw the last few letters of the word. And like I said, I don't think it was really meant for me to remember what this term was. And part of me wonders if maybe it's because if by chance this medicine or whatever it was that was being given to the child by the adults was something new or experimental, maybe. Perhaps this term that was describing the syndrome or disease or condition that this little girl had developed with the eyes. I knew the eyes. In the dream, I knew for a fact that the eyes being yellow and demonic like that was because of the medicine. And so I'm like, well, maybe if the medication was an experimental new thing, perhaps the term that they came up with to describe it also could have been a newer term that I wouldn't be familiar with right now. So maybe it's something that they will name at a later time. I don't know. The dream did not say that. That's just me kind of thinking out loud. And that's the dream. And to be honest, I really struggled putting this up on here because, long story short, it seems like lately the spiritual attacks against me have been ceaseless. And I feel like anytime that God gives me a dream or something to do, to share things that he shows me or to warn other people, no matter what it is that I set out to do that he has for me to do, there's constantly someone or something trying to block me and shut me down from being able to do that. And I have kind of been kicking myself thinking that it was something wrong that I was doing. And I kind of let people bully me sometimes. I'm kind of an easy target for people. People my entire life have kind of treated me like a doormat because I probably am an easy target. I've always been someone that's shy. I don't like attention on me. I don't like to put myself out there. I don't like to say like, hey everybody, listen to me, like God is showing me all this stuff. I like to be a part of things, but I don't like the attention to be on me or about me or anything like that. So when I know that God has put something in me to do or to speak, I'm really excited about it and I have a joy about it and my spirits are lifted. But when I go to do it or say it, whatever it may be, and it's been multiple different things here lately, constantly somebody or some kind of situation is put in front of me like an obstacle. And I tend to shrink away and think that it's something because of what I'm doing wrong or whatever, because other people basically are bullying me and telling me that I shouldn't be doing that, I shouldn't say it. And I really have been talking to the Lord about this over the past few days. And in the night, he woke me up with a vision and I saw the words in front of me. It said, I can't remember the exact wordage, but basically it said, you need to have more confidence. And that's really kind of something I didn't expect from God. Like, that's really personal to me. But then again, I was really pouring my heart out to him and talking to him about some things that have been going on where I feel like I'm being blocked from what he wants me to do. And he said, you need to have more confidence. And Lord knows I have never been a confident person. So it's going to have to be a work in progress for me. I'm going to kind of have to seek him to kind of help me learn how to do that, because if I feel that someone's coming against me, I'll just be like, oh, and then like I said, I just kind of cower away, and I like to just kind of stay to myself, do my own thing, and not try to be like the forefront of anything. And I don't know, I've always been kind of shy like that. Since I was little. I was so shy when my mom took me to kindergarten sign-ups that they told me, get this girl, do not bring her to school until next year because she's too shy. Like, that's what was put on the paper, and they always put on my report card, like, this child is just too shy, and I didn't even start kindergarten until I was 7. It's just a personality trait that I have. So, but it's like I said, I like to be a part of things, and I have a joy to share what God shows me, whether it's encouraging or a warning for somebody to bring them to Jesus. But Satan just always kind of seems to work in people, whether they slap a Christian label on themselves or not, to block you from saying something. And especially probably for somebody like me that is probably more prone to being like, okay. But the Lord has really been making me see that I need to have more confidence and stop letting people bully me into a corner and try and shut me down. And it's really been being brought to my attention that it's because people are operating out of a spirit of, it was pride and jealousy. And I don't see any reason that anybody should ever have those feelings towards me. I mean, I'm nobody. I was telling my husband recently that I am pretty much, I feel like I am the reason that the Bible says that God uses the simple to confound the wise. Because I told my husband, I was like, I feel like when God uses me for his purpose, that he's like scraping the bottom of the barrel. But I feel like with God showing me that vision, it said you need to have more confidence. I feel like he's basically saying that I need to grow a spine. I need to pick myself up by the bootstraps and stop allowing people to affect me the way that they do, because they're the ones that are operating out of spirits that they shouldn't even be. I mean, we're all human. We're all sinners. We're all going to, at some time or another, deal with these feelings of like pride and arrogance and jealousy and things like that. But if you're a Christian truly following Jesus, these should not be attributes that you should be walking in and letting them control you, to where you're literally putting an obstacle course, a stumbling block in front of another believer. And it's really been being made known to me that that's what's going on. The Lord is giving me something to speak out and to warn people. And his spirit is leading me to do different things. I don't want to get into it, but there's always something that's like jumping out in front of me, stopping me from doing that. And I have been kind of blaming myself for it. And I feel like he's telling me it's not anything I'm doing wrong. It's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's everyone else that's trying to stop it from getting out there. So here I am sharing this dream with you. Let me know if you have dreamt anything similar to this, or if you know of anybody else that's dreamt something like this about children being medicated. And in the dream, I want to make note that I didn't specifically see the child's parent giving them this, whatever it was she was being given. It was just a general circle of adults. I don't know if, okay, so that was the dream. Let me just tack on my own personal opinion where my mind went to after I woke up from this dream. And I'm not saying that this is the interpretation of the dream. So disclaimer. The first place my mind went to was the fact that school has just started. It was a small child in the dream. And it was adults, random adults giving this child this medication, not specifically her parent. So I'm wondering if once school kind of gets rolling a little bit, me being somebody who works with children, and I have worked with children for over 10 years, I have noticed this pattern of once school is in session for about 2 to 3 weeks, every year, that's when the children start to get the common cold, the flu, and strep throat. So I'm just wondering if this year, with everything that's going on with this virus and how they're just blowing it out of proportion, misconstruing the numbers, I'm wondering if, have you guys noticed that people don't even die of heart attacks anymore or diabetes? It's always coronavirus, because if you go into a hospital, they have to test you for it. and we know that there's been false positives. So it's like, normal things that are common to man anymore, it's just like, nope, you don't have a cold, it's coronavirus. So I'm just thinking out loud and wondering, and I just kind of have a suspicion that when kids start developing these normal things that they do every fall, I wouldn't put it past them to say that it was something that it's not. And also another thing that comes to my mind is, over the past like 5 or 6 months maybe, I have been hearing about a certain like mystery illness that only has been taking hold of children, like small children. Now, I don't know too much information on that personally because I don't have children myself, so it's just not something that I have really looked into. So that was just something that came to my mind as well, that maybe they'll try to blow that out of proportion, and perhaps the schools or the school nurses will give the children medications to quote unquote prevent said disease, virus, whatever. I don't really know what the medicine was in this dream. It didn't tell me that, so I can't say. But I just have been suspecting that they were going to use... Okay, so somebody said something a few days ago that really stuck out to me because it is so true. And what they said was, the easiest way to control adults, especially parents, is through their children, with fear. So I'll kind of just, let your imagination go with that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of fabricate something with the children and use that as bait for the parents that, at least up to this point, have kind of been against vaccination. Or, like I said, I don't even know if this dream was anything to do with vaccination. It didn't say that, but this is just kind of where my mind is going. So anyway, I really felt led to come on here and share this dream. And like I said, let me know if you know of anybody else that's had something similar. And I will be back if he gives me any more dreams or anything that I feel is important. And I'm really just moving in obedience with what I feel in my spirit he's giving me to do and speak, and I'm just going to go ahead with it. And if anybody has issue with it, take it to the Lord. Unsubscribe me. You don't have to listen to me or have anything to do with me. I'm going to do what the Spirit leads me to do and what he puts in my spirit to say. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.